Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. For 4 minutes, Mr. Martin.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, President, and thank you, Commissioner, for coming to debate a subject close to all our hearts here today. This is about markets, investments, products and competitiveness, all important topics. However, I will focus on workers and citizens because a business and an industry are not just the area in which a consumer good is produced. It's all about creating wealth for the owner and for a region, and that's what gives us nursery schools, roads and so on. And if that industry disappears, the whole benefit for society will disappear. Alco in France and a similar one in Spain, two multinationals, have benefited from tens of billions of euros in public aid in going to areas where there are fewer constraints. What are you going to do, Madam Commissioner, when production elsewhere comes back into the European market, when these companies go abroad and return their goods into the market? Now, I know it's not your responsibility, but this needs to go further. If multilateralism creates riches, who are those riches for? Multilateralism, above all, means laissez-faire, fiscal, financial and economic, laissez-faire economics. It's the law of the price, which militates in favour of a deal going to the lowest price. But we know that the lowest price necessarily means less reasonable social, economic and environmental conditions. And that is why it's absurd, not to say more, that it's Trump, whom I find despicable, who denounces this. It's those who've dreamt up ultra-liberalism who are pointing to the faults of this system and the WTO now. We can't go on to play by different rules. When the Commission readies itself to recognise market economy status to China, we, or you, are endangering society. That could cause us the loss of 4 million industrial jobs in a few months. But that's a Commission proposal. What's at stake here? What kind of political pressures in play? Where's the citizen and the worker in all this? So that's the message that I want to get across to us all. I know you're sensitive to this. If you want European citizens to come a little closer to the European Union, then we must change the rules of the market. We must change WTO rules. And I would invite you to come back to the Canadian Prime Minister's proposal, Mr. Trudeau, who said, let's rewrite the WTO rules, otherwise it's those who are the strongest who will call the shots, and we'll all be killed off economically by low-cost production from China. If the rule is ever cheaper, then we will never have any clout as Europeans. It's our social and societal model that's in play here. It's more than economy and innovation and market share. It's all about the European social model, freedom and democracy. That's the model that rides on these industries. I know you come from a region that was highly industrialized and is highly disindustrialized now. This is just creating a breeding ground for populists and nationalists. If a factory disappears, you've got nothing left. It's a wilderness. And we as Europeans don't have an answer for that. So I would like us to maintain jobs and to maintain industries, and that should be an objective reason for a fair market. It will never be a fair market unless it's durable and respects the planet and the environment. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. For 2 minutes, Mrs. Krupp.
Komisarz, moim zdaniem zasadne jest...
Thank you very much, President, Madam Commissioner. I think we should ask whether there can be a fair market for industry in the case of liberalization and globalization.